Hi, everyone. This is Jing An. I am the Chinese teacher at IMS. Welcome to our Curriculum 921-22. So first, let me introduce myself. I was born and raised in China in the city of Nanjing, which is a pretty large city on the East Coast. I also got my first degree, my bachelor degree in Nanjing Normal University, specializing in teaching Chinese as a second language. Then I moved to Shanghai and went to the East China Normal University, where I got my first master degree in teaching Chinese as second language and applied linguistics. After I graduated, I moved to United States and I taught 2 years in a high school in the state of Arkansas. I taught 3 levels of Chinese courses in a high school in the city of Hot Springs. After that, I moved to the Great Seattle area and I went to University of Washington for my second master degree in multicultural education. After I graduated from UW, I started teaching at IMS. This is my 3rd year teaching at IMS. You can see this little picture. This is Nanjing, a picture of Nanjing. It's a city with great history. And there is a little picture of a church in Arkansas. And there is a picture of Kirkland, which is where I currently live. And this little guy in the middle, his name is Hachi. He's my dog, who is almost 3 years old. He is bilingual, so he will be my teaching assistant of the year. So now let's talk about our goals as a class. So this year we are doing grading for equity, and we will be using the word readiness standards. So we will be focusing on 3 skills: interpersonal communication skills, interpretive skills, and presentational skills. For interpersonal, students will engage in conversations, provide and obtain information, express their feelings, their emotion, and exchange their opinions in the target language on most of the most familiar topics that we cover in class. And for interpretive, students will need to understand and comprehend both written and spoken language on the topics that we covered in class. And for presentational, students will need to present information, concepts, and ideas to audience of listeners and readers on most familiar topics that we do in class. Also, we will be working on understand cultural perspectives and build critical thinking skills. So we will be talking about how different cultural practice linked to different cultural perspectives. I will be talking about my own cultural perspective as a Chinese, as an immigrant, and as a teacher, a female, and students will share also about their cultural perspectives, as a student in our classroom. So this year, as a goal, I want to bring students to a novice high level, which in our class, which means that the students will be able to exchange information in memorized phrases or words on a variety of topics. Some of the students may be able to move on to novice high, which means they will be using more sentences in phrases. So this year we'll be using, this is our textbook, Discovering Chinese Pro. There is a foundation unit, which we will be talking about we'll be talking about the Chinese writing system and phonetic system. We will also have an introduction to China and Chinese culture. After that, we have a unit of greetings, and then a unit of which is called All About Me. And that one we will talk about personal information. Students will learn to exchange information on names, age, grade and school level, nationality, and introduce their family. After that, there is a unit which is time and location. We will only do 1 lesson from that unit. We will be focusing on the date and the day of the week. These are a few applications I use in my classroom: Nearpod, Edpuzzle, Quizlet, and I use a lot of choice board where students can choose the tasks they want to engage with to demonstrate their learning. Also in our class, we will have some cultural activities. For example, students will make their own Chinese seal stamps, and they will make it in class, and they can use it for our calligraphy lessons or Chinese painting lessons. And also I have students make their own Chinese name tent, and they can decorate their name tent, and I have them pick up their name tent every day and put it on the desk, and they only address each other by their Chinese name in my classroom. So there will be other cultural activities like paper cuttings and like the Chinese shadow puppet shows that we do in class. So for gradings, because I'm doing grading for equity, students will be assessed in each of these units on these skills like interpersonal and presentational. Students will be assessed on both writing and speaking. And for interpretive, they will be assessed on both listening and reading comprehension. I accept late work and makeup tests. Students will need to do a reflection piece and then make an appointment with me for the makeup tests. So my expectation for this class is to be responsible, be respectful, be brave, and be safe. I want to point the be brave part out because we are learning a new language, and students sometimes need to step out of their comfort zone and challenge themselves. So I want to emphasize that be brave is a big thing in our classroom. Also in our classes, especially this year, we want to maximize the use of the target language, which is Chinese. Last year, we were on Zoom. We didn't get to use as many Chinese as I hope for. As I hope. So this year, hopefully after the beginning of the year, after we set all the norms, we learned all the classroom directions in Chinese, students can feel more comfortable stay in Chinese, the language of Chinese, and maybe we can have 80% of the time in the target language. So students can reach me through Schoology. They can check their grades on Skyward and check the materials and the resources that they use on Schoology. If you ever have any question or concerns, you can always reach me on Gmail. Also, if you want to meet, we can schedule a meeting on Zoom. I will be open for any questions. So following this presentation, so do you have any questions? If you do, I will send out a Google form. If you have questions, just fill out the form and tell me what you think. Also, you can reach me through email if you have any questions. So let's have a great school year together. And 谢谢, which means thank you, and 再见, goodbye, 再见.